A family dinner starts with a small favor and ends with a confession that splits everyone at the table. My parents said Sunday dinner was for their 35th anniversary. Nothing huge, just roast chicken my brothers, my aunt, and the kind of cake my mum only bought when she wanted everyone in one room. An hour before dinner, Mum called and asked if I could come early. She sounded too cheerful. She said, "Bring the folding chair from the garage and please do not make a face when you see the extra guest." I thought she meant one of Dad's boring golf friends. When I got there, the table was already set, but the extra place was not squeezed at the end like an afterthought. It was beside Dad. Mum had used the good plate, the crystal glass, and one of Grandma's embroidered napkins that bothered me more than I wanted to admit. Then I saw a small wrapped box on the sideboard, same silver paper as the anniversary gifts, but the tag said Daniel. I asked Mum who Daniel was. She wiped her hands on a towel and said, "Just someone your father wants us to welcome, not someone we both want." Your father, Daniel, arrived 10 minutes later, late 20s, nervous smile holding flowers like he had practiced it in the car. Dad hugged him before he hugged me. Not a polite hug, a relieved one. My older brother noticed too. My younger brother stopped talking mid-sentence. During dinner, Dad kept watching Daniel, correcting tiny things, asking if he wanted more potatoes, laughing too hard at every quiet joke. Then Daniel reached for his water, and I saw his watch. It was my grandfather's watch, the one Dad said had been missing for years. I asked probably too sharply where he got it. The whole table went silent. Dad put down his fork, looked at Mum, then looked at all of us, and he said, "Daniel is not a guest. He is my son." For a second, nobody moved. My aunt whispered Dad's name like she was warning him to stop. Mum stared at her plate. Daniel looked like he wanted the floor to open up. My older brother Ben asked the question none of us could say gently. When Dad said Daniel was born 28 years ago, I am 31. Ben is 33. My younger brother Leo is 26. So no matter how Dad dressed it up, Daniel was not from some mysterious life before us. He was from the middle of ours. Mum finally spoke. She said she had found out 6 months ago Dad had wanted to tell us sooner, but she wanted to meet Daniel first. She said that like it made her noble. I asked if she was seriously protecting Dad's feelings at his own confession. Dinner, that was when Daniel quietly said he had not asked for this. He had only contacted Dad after his mother died. He wanted medical history, maybe one conversation. Dad was the one who kept inviting him back. I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. Then Dad said there was another reason he wanted everyone together. He brought out a folder. My stomach dropped. Grandma's cottage, the one our whole family used every summer, the one she left to Dad with, the understanding it would eventually go to us 3 kids. Dad said he wanted to update the paperwork so Daniel would be included equally. Equally, Mum said it was only fair. Ben exploded. Leo said Daniel should not be punished for Dad's choices. My aunt called Dad selfish. Daniel kept saying he did not know about the cottage, but I could not stop staring at that folder. This was not a confession. It was a vote they wanted to win while everyone was too emotional to think Dad slid the papers toward me first. He said, "You have always been the reasonable one," and I said, "If you want reasonable, do not ask me to sign away Grandma's house to a stranger at your anniversary dinner." The second I said stranger, Daniel flinched, tone conflicted. I knew it was cruel. I knew he had not chosen the affair, the timing, or the folder. But in that moment, all I could see was Dad trying to turn our shock into consent. Ben backed me up immediately. Leo told me I was punishing the wrong person. Mum started crying, but not in the way people cry when they are sorry. More like she was disappointed we had ruined the scene. She had rehearsed. Dad said Grandma believed in family. That made me snap. I said Grandma also believed in honesty, and she would have hated being used as a bargaining chip. Then I left. For 2 days, my phone did not stop. Dad said I humiliated Daniel. Mum said I made an impossible situation harder. Leo said I acted like blood. only mattered when it was convenient. Ben said I was the only one brave enough to say no. Daniel sent one message through Leo. Not dramatic, just that he was sorry and he never wanted the cottage if it meant taking something from us. That made me feel worse, not better, so I asked to meet him at a coffee shop. I apologized for calling him a stranger to his face. I told him I was angry at Dad, not him. Then I told him the truth. I would not sign anything that gave him a share of the cottage right now, not because he did not deserve kindness, but because Dad had no right to repair his guilt using an inheritance tied to our memories. Daniel nodded. He said he understood Dad did not. He has barely spoken to me since Mom says the family feels broken because I drew a hard line. Maybe she is right, but I keep thinking the family was broken before I ever got there. I just refused to help hide the crack. So was I wrong for protecting the cottage even if Daniel was innocent?